Those big, like, flashy magic shows, they seem to be kind of disappearing. But don't worry, magic itself is definitely not going anywhere.
Right.
In this deep dive, we're going to explore what the future holds for magic, looking at some articles from reports and some insights from experts in the field.
Yeah.
And whether you're, a magician yourself or just curious about how entertainment evolves, I think there's something here for everybody. We're going to be talking about everything from intimate magic experiences to the role of technology in illusions. It's going to be fascinating.
One of the things that really jumped out at me from all this material was this shift from spectacle to intimacy in magic.
Yeah, it's almost like magic is going back to its roots.
Yeah.
We're seeing this trend toward smaller venues, close-up magic, where the audience is like right there, just inches away from the performer.
And that intimacy creates a totally different kind of magic. It's not just about the grand illusion. It's about the personal connection, like that shared experience of wonder. And, in a world that is so dominated by screens and virtual interactions, there's a real hunger for that kind of real, authentic, in-person experience.
Yeah, and intimate magic really taps into that. Imagine sitting in a cozy parlor, just a few feet away from a magician. Like every sleight of hand, every whisper of his bell, it just feels so much more real and powerful.
It's like a secret shared between you and the magician.
Yeah,
And, it's interesting to note that this isn't a completely new thing. I mean, if you think back to, the late 19th century in Chicago, those magic shows that were happening back then, a lot of them were held in parlors and clubs where the audience was right up close to the action.
right. It's like we're seeing a return to that.
Yeah.
And there's some great examples of this happening today. You've got shows like the Magic Cabaret in Chicago, which really embraces that kind of intimate vibe. And even here in St. Louis, Christian Meisner is doing these cool pop-up parlor shows.
That's awesome.
Really cool. But, we're talking about trends. Let's talk about another major one that's reshaping magic, and that is technology. Magicians are really embracing the digital age.
Yeah, and it's really exciting to see how technology is being integrated into these magic shows.
Yeah,
We're not just talking about, iPods vanishing into thin air,
right,
although that is pretty cool too.
right.
But magicians are using technology to enhance every aspect of the performance, from the lighting and sound to the illusions themselves.
Yeah, it's not just about making things flashier.
Right.
Technology can actually create illusions that were literally impossible just a few years ago.
Absolutely.
Like, think about projection mapping, where images are projected onto surfaces to create these 3D effects.
Yeah.
Or imagine illusions that incorporate augmented reality, where the magic seems to interact with the audience's phones.
That would be cool.
Like, magic is becoming even more immersive, blurring the lines between reality and illusion.
Yeah.
But also, I think what's interesting, too, is how technology is making magic more accessible.
Yes.
Like, with platforms like Zoom, magicians can now perform for audiences all over the world.
So true.
It's crazy. Now, you might think that all this technology would kind of overshadow the human element of magic.
Yeah.
But what we found is that technology is actually being used to enhance the art of storytelling in these magic shows.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that was one of the things that really surprised me as we were researching for this deep dive.
Really?
Yeah, storytelling is becoming so central to the magic experience. It's not just about the tricks anymore. It's about weaving a narrative,
Right.
creating an emotional journey for the audience.
Yeah, I think the audiences today are looking for more than just a series of wow moments. They want to feel something. They want to connect with the magician and the story that's being told.
Yeah, and with storytelling, the magic becomes more meaningful. You're not just watching a trick. You're experiencing a story that's unfolding through the illusion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and some shows are taking this to like a whole other level. Have you heard of Awakening in Vegas?
Yes, I have.
I've heard it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's not just a magic show. It's a full-blown theatrical production. They use illusions and costumes and dance and even puppetry to tell this really epic magical tale.
It sounds like a whole new genre of entertainment. It's like Cirque du Soleil meets Harry Potter or something.
It is.
But even on a smaller scale, storytelling can transform a simple magic act into something truly unforgettable. Yeah, and a lot of it comes down to the magician's ability to connect with the audience, draw them into the story.
Yes. And speaking of connecting with the audience, let's not forget about laughter. Comedy's always been a great companion to magic, adding that touch of lightness and entertainment.
Oh, for sure. I mean, think about Penn and Teller. Like, their act is this brilliant blend of magic and comedy. Or Nathan Burton here in Vegas. I mean, his shows are just packed with laughs.
And what's so interesting is that the comedy can actually enhance the magic. Because it kind of breaks the ice, it creates a sense of camaraderie with the audience, and it even helps with misdirection.
Oh, totally.
When you're laughing, you're less likely to notice those subtle moves that make the impossible possible.
Yeah, you distract.
Yeah,
Exactly. You're having
yeah.
too much fun.
Yeah, it's like the magician is kind of playing with your expectations, using that humor to keep you guessing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be a full-blown comedy act. Even a well-placed joke or just some playful banter can make a huge difference.
Totally. Like, remember we were talking about Christian Meisner earlier? His slow motion routine is a perfect example of how comedy can elevate a classic magic trick.
Oh, it's so funny.
The way he incorporates those slow motion movements and those like deadpan expressions.
It's hilarious.
So good.
Yeah.
But, let's shift gears a bit and talk about a trend that's really kind of captured the public imagination lately, and that is mentalism.
Oh, mentalism is definitely having a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those who may not be familiar, it's a branch of magic that focuses on the mysteries of the human mind. Things like mind reading, prediction, influence, and shows like The Mentalist by Jerry McCambridge here in Vegas, they're drawing huge crowds.
I think this trend speaks to our fascination with the unknown. You know, like the possibility that there's more to the world than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Like we're yearning for something beyond the everyday, something that challenges our understanding of reality.
Right.
And mentalism, like, taps into that perfectly.
Oh, for sure.
Because it plays with our perceptions, makes us question what's real and what's not.
Absolutely.
And because it often involves audience participation, it creates this very personal, engaging experience.
Oh, yeah. You're not just watching. You're a part of the mystery.
You're in it.
Yes.
Now, amidst all these new trends, it's important to remember that classic magic isn't going anywhere. Card tricks, levitation, disappearances, these are the timeless wonders that continue to amaze and delight audiences of all ages.
Absolutely.
But what's interesting is that magicians are finding new ways to reimagine these classics.
Oh, yeah.
They're adding modern twists, incorporating technology, or presenting them in entirely fresh ways.
It's like taking something familiar and breathing new life into it.
Exactly. Like imagine a classic card trick enhanced with digital projections or interactive elements. Suddenly it's not just about sleight of hand, it's a visual spectacle.
Absolutely. And that's key to keeping magic relevant and exciting, finding that balance between honoring the traditions and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Totally. But, speaking of pushing boundaries, it seems like some trends in magic are, like, fading away.
Yeah, you're right. According to magician Jeff McBride, those big circus-style magic shows, they're becoming less popular.
Yeah.
Audiences are seeking out more intimate and engaging experiences.
Makes sense. We're living in a world of personalized content, curated experiences. Like, people want to feel connected to the magic, not just watch it from a distance.
Right.
Yeah. But this shift is actually pushing magicians to be more creative.
It is.
More innovative.
Absolutely.
Totally agree. And speaking of positive changes, we're also seeing more and more female magicians taking center stage.
Yes. Finally.
Which is fantastic.
It's about time. Yeah, the magic world is catching up with the times, and it is so exciting to see these talented women bringing their unique perspectives and styles to the art of magic.
We mentioned Jessica Jane Peterson earlier, known for her daring stunts and incredible illusions. She's a great example of a magician who's really pushing boundaries.
She is amazing.
What's remarkable about Jessica is that she's not afraid to challenge the traditional image of a magician. She's tough, she's edgy, and she's not afraid to take risks. And her success is paving the way for other aspiring female magicians. It's showing them that they too can break through those glass ceilings.
Yes, it's not just about representation, it's about diversifying the art of magic itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of these trends that we've been discussing, they're not just changing the face of magic, they're also impacting the business side of things.
They are. Magicians are having to adapt their strategies. Everything from marketing and promotion to venue choices, ticket pricing.
Yeah.
Social media has become so crucial for reaching new audiences, and magicians are getting really creative with how they're using it.
Totally.
Yeah. And, with the rise of virtual performances, they can now reach a global audience from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's a whole new game. But with all these changes and innovations, it makes you wonder, what does the future hold for the art of magic?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Will technology eventually, replace the human element? Or will it simply just enhance the illusionist's art?
Yeah, I think those are questions that both magicians and audiences are kind of wrestling with right now.
Right.
But one thing's for sure, the future of magic is going to be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with this.
Yeah.
What do you think the future holds for the art of magic? Will it become even more spectacular, more immersive, more mind-boggling? Or will there be this return to simpler forms of magic, like a focus on the intimacy and that connection between the performer and the audience?
Maybe we'll even see a fusion of both, like a blending of old and new, where technology enhances the human element rather than replacing it.
Right?
But I think one thing is clear.
What's that?
The best way to experience the evolution of magic is to see it for yourself.
You see it firsthand.
Yeah.
So go seek out a magic show near you. It doesn't have to be, a big, huge production in Vegas. It could be a small, intimate show in a local theater, or even like a pop-up performance in a coffee shop or something.
Exactly.
The point is just go out there and experience the magic firsthand.
Yeah.
You might just be surprised at what you discover. And who knows, you might even find yourself believing in the impossible.
That's the beauty of magic.
Right.
It allows us to step outside of the ordinary, to glimpse a world where anything is possible.
Yeah, it reminds us that there's still wonder and mystery in the world, even in this age of technology and information.
Totally.
So keep your eyes open, your minds curious, and your sense of wonder alive.
Yeah,
Because the magic is out there waiting to be discovered.
it is.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this magical journey.
It's been a pleasure. I loved exploring the future of this incredible art form with you.
Absolutely. And until next time, keep the magic alive.